I talk with a lot of anxious women, and more often than not, what I hear is how overwhelmed they feel. They know that their schedules are too full, they know their brains are too full, but they have no idea what to do about it or what's causing it. Trying to balance work and home responsibilities, keep everything running smoothly and everybody happy, then to do it perfectly is emotionally, mentally, and physically exhausting. So I created a short 5-question quiz to help you get to the bottom of why you feel so overwhelmed and to give you some solutions to help you feel less stressed and anxious and more confident. Because when you know what you're doing that's causing you to stress, you can swap habits to create more space for yourself to rest and relax. Resting and relaxing makes it easier to think clearly, to work efficiently, and to still have time for yourself to go do the stuff you've been wanting to do. And wouldn't it feel amazing to be confident, to feel calm, and to be able to go have fun again? I mean, I think so. You can take that quiz using the link in the podcast show notes and have a very first step forward out of overwhelm in less than 5 minutes. Welcome to the More Than Anxiety podcast. I'm Megan DeVito, and I help ambitious women break out of the anxiety cycle that keeps them frustrated and stuck. Get ready for a lighthearted approach that will change what you think, how you feel, and what you believe about yourself. This podcast is full of simple steps, a lot of truth talk, and inspiration to take action so you walk away feeling confident, calm, and ready to live. Let's get to it. Okay, you guys, welcome to episode 119 of the More Than Anxiety podcast. I'm super excited that you chose to join me today because I'm doing something that I've never done before. I am talking with Erin Washington, and not just in a normal interview. We're doing a regular coaching session, except not with the backstory that I would normally have with my clients. Usually when I start with a client, we set goals, we get to know each other in that first hour. Really tell me about what you want, why it's important to you, but not this episode. I am jumping in with 2 feet to help Erin work through some questions that she has about her life, similarly to what she does on her podcast called Therapy, where she brings therapists on and life coaches on to help her work through some issues that she's dealing with so that all of her listeners get the help that they want. It's really the foundation of what group coaching is like, but we're doing it in an hour here on this podcast today. It is so much fun. It was a blast to record with her. Be sure that you find Erin on all the social networks. I'll make sure to put her links in the show notes. Check out her podcast called Therapy and really enjoy the episode. It was a fun one for me to make.
I am Erin Washington. I'm a mom of 2. I'm currently living in Atlanta. And I am someone who struggled with body image for 20-ish years and finally got my life together later in life, like after I had my kids. So I ended up writing my first book called Squats and Margaritas. And it was basically to the woman working out, not seeing results, restricting and depriving herself. I found the formula, and it was just living with balance. And during the pandemic, I was just going live. There was nothing else to do. We couldn't be out together. So I would say pour a cocktail and I'd go live on Instagram and be like, what is everybody doing with their kids? Because Megan, at that time I had a 2 and a 4-year-old and the gyms were closed and the schools were closed and the playgrounds were closed. So I was like, what is everybody doing? And it turned into a little talk show. And I was able to book some of the Real Housewives and some bigger guests because they didn't have anything else going on. The world was shut down. So it became a little talk show. My only intent was to just inspire and encourage other moms to get through the pandemic, entertainment. And unbeknownst to me, there was a program director in Washington, D.C., at the biggest radio station there watching me every week. And one day she called and gave me a show. Wow. And I never saw a podcast coming, but it was the best thing for me. And I found out that I could be vulnerable and help other women. And recently, I just noticed a little bit of a pivot in my life. And Squats and Margaritas wasn't really my jam anymore. I was like, I really don't talk about fitness. It became more, full disclosure, I'm going through divorce. It went through co-parenting and just finding yourself again, finding your value and your worth and personal growth. And I was like, my show is basically therapy every week. I work through whatever you'd work through in therapy with another vulnerable, authentic guest. I rebranded as Therapy with Erin Washington. It's my favorite thing in the world. And then as an extension of the work that I was doing with body image, I also created a nonprofit for teenage girls that are struggling with body image and self-worth called Blue Butterfly Foundation. And right now it's foundation events and my show, and never saw it coming as someone who is now inspiring other women when all I did was struggle with my worth and my body image and everything like that for 20 years. I was able to come out of that pain and find the purpose in it and hopefully help the next woman out of it.
Yeah, that is awesome. I was actually just looking at your link on your Instagram profile for blue butterflies. And I'm like, oh, this is such great work. So you said I have a history with body image.
Yes.
Tell me more about that. What was that like for you?
Everything stemmed from soccer. I started playing when I was 4 and it became my value and my identity. And I didn't really realize how much it was until I did all this personal growth work. But we were back-to-back state champions in high school. I was the captain. I played Division I college soccer, and everybody'd be like, where are you going for college? You know, it was always, for soccer. So Megan, my sophomore year, after I was working my ass off, I was winning fitness competitions. I came in like ready to go. I wasn't playing and I wasn't used to that. Like I wasn't used to coming off the field. So kind of on a whim in the middle of my sophomore season, I quit. And I was like, well, this is bullshit. I'm not playing. I quit. And that is when I realized just how much of my value and identity was tied up in soccer. I fell into bulimia, depression, I was anorexic in high school, to be honest. I was barely eating because I thought thin was like fit for soccer. Like everything was about soccer. When my career was gone, I was still, eating like a college athlete, but no longer training like one. So I put on weight. And initially I found bulimia as what I thought would take off the weight, but it actually just made me puffy and bloated. And it was something I struggled with for 10 years. I wasn't going to tell anybody about it. I married my husband. Well, I started dating my husband when he was in the height of his career in the NFL. I had no self-worth and was just coming out of bulimia. So I kind of just, I think like attached myself to him because he was shiny. And I felt like if I'm with him, then I'm shiny. And again, like my body, like we would be at games and I would be like, he wants to be with this person. Like, look at these beautiful women they would just like wait around after the games. And I would just like go into my head and I had no confidence. But I think it really stemmed from the soccer value and identity and being fit for soccer. But I'm also a firstborn perfectionist. And when you're really driven like that, it can look like a great thing, but it can also take a left into an eating disorder.
Right. The whole firstborn thing, especially as a daughter, that is wicked, isn't it? So yes, me too. I am the oldest. I am not probably a perfectionist, but definitely, I think there's a level of assumed responsibility there.
Yes, absolutely.
Like you're the firstborn. First of all, we're going to figure it out with you. And then you're going to be like this shiny, beautiful thing that we made. Don't mess up.
Nope. No, don't. You know what you made me think of too? It's like, it's a lot to carry when it's like, I was homecoming queen and prom queen. You can like assess this. You're getting all my background so you can see why.
This is great. I love this.
I am the way I am. And it's like, I was homecoming queen and prom queen. So it was like, that's a lot to uphold. Like I couldn't like get fat. I had to like uphold that and be this great soccer player. And it's like, for me to be voted as those things, like obviously people saw something in me. I didn't see it in myself. And it's like, I was like barely eating. I was throwing up my food. It's like anyone that you think has it all or is the girl, like you have no idea what that person is dealing with. Another reason why I started my nonprofit, like you're comparing yourself to this person that you think is shiny and you have no idea what she's struggling with to be able to uphold the shiny. And it's a lot. And I had 3 younger sisters and they were all Division I collegiate athletes and no one struggled like me. So I put so much into birth order like this. Everything has to be a certain way and perfect and training twice a day. And none of them were like that. And all of them had successful college soccer careers. So it's not the way to be. And I wish I could turn it off, but I can't.
Yeah. So when you say I've put so much into birth order, tell me more about that. Like, what are you hanging on this birth order? Because there's absolutely validity to it, right? Like we know firstborn daughters, people should be talking about that more. I mean, my mom was a firstborn daughter and that's a whole thing too. But so yes, there's validity to it, but how much of that are you pinning to yourself?
That's good. Yeah, I'm making it my identity. I just can tell when people are talking, they're like, everything had to be a certain way. And I had to be like, as they're talking, I'm like, are you a firstborn? And they're always like, yeah. And I'm like, I can see it in other people. It's like a drive to be like, or to appear perfect because I clearly wasn't, and I knew what I was doing to my body and but to appear like you have everything in order. And I just don't, with my sister, they're just casual. Like I'm very high strung. I feel like as a firstborn, I'm just, and maybe it's not, like, correct me if that's not, but I'm very particular and driven, like highly driven to a fault sometimes.
Uh-huh.
I hold myself to an unattainably high standard that I will never meet, so that I'm always just kind of like, and none of my sisters had that. So I always just thought that was the firstborn thing.
Hey, I've got a special gift for you. If you haven't had a chance to check out episode 111 of the More Than Anxiety podcast yet, you're going to want to give it a listen. In that episode, I had the opportunity to speak with Jennifer Genevieve from Levine Natural Skincare. Jennifer shared her story about confronting her mindset and her negative self-talk and how she set and achieved goals that made her the successful Chief Operations Officer at Levine Naturals. And as a thank you, Jen is offering a 15% discount for my subscribers and listeners. Simply enter the code Megan DeVito, all one word, when you check out. If you're looking for the link, it's in the show notes. Again, use code Megan DeVito when you check out. A huge thank you to Jen Genevieve for sharing this code with us and for creating some amazing skincare products.
Yeah, maybe. Or maybe it's something that so first thing, I have so many questions in my head right now.
Yes.
But one is like, when you say, okay, I was a perfectionist and I was thinking like, I have to be perfect, I have to do these things. And I'm noticing my sisters don't. What was two things? Who was the person you were picturing who was perfect? Like, where was this thing that like, this person is who I need to be?
That's hilarious. What a fabulous question. Homecoming queen. How about that?
And you were.
And I got it. And I said in my book, I would have relinquished both crowns to be able to secure a college, like a strong college soccer career. But I distinctly remember when I was a freshman in high school and the bell would ring and I would pass the homecoming queen. And it was just so fast. I was like, I just thought she was so cool. And then I got that, and it wasn't anything. Like it wasn't enough. Nothing is enough. It's whatever I think it is. So maybe if I had this amazing soccer career, it would have happened. And then I would have been like, well, it's not that. It's not that either. That's what I thought. And everybody looking at me as a homecoming queen. But then I had it and it wasn't what I thought. Like I still didn't feel confident. I didn't find self-confidence until damn near 40. And I got married. Like I started dating my husband at 24, married at 33, and didn't have it. So that's another thing. Like when you're in a relationship, and you step into confidence and then step into divorce, just like you.
Yeah.
Because you're not the same person.
Right. So I'm looking at this, I'm thinking, okay, I want to be the homecoming queen, like that girl, like she is it. And then you become that and immediately raise the bar. Like,
yes.
And then now there's more.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's
I
like,
can never be
was
satisfied.
Supposed to be homecoming queen, but here I am. That's not it either. So what is it like when you were, so if you go back up, like before you were homecoming queen, what did you think the homecoming queen had? Like, what was it about that title that you were like, that's it. That's what she's got.
Like value, like clout, like she's the homecoming queen, a title maybe.
Okay.
And I'm just processing this right in real time. Like, I don't know if that's the right, that's what I'm just answering honestly. Like she was, oh my God, she was homecoming queen. But then it was like, whatever. When I got it, like you just make the next thing. Like I'll give you an example with my show. I interviewed Katie Couric. It was the biggest show I had done.
That's amazing.
Well, this was 2 years ago. Megan, I was excited for like a day or two, but then it was like, who am I going to get next? I can't just, it's always the next thing. I can't ever just be satisfied. So I don't know like where it came from, except for birth order, because I have my sisters to compare to, but this driven, nothing is good enough. Katie Couric was a goal for like 2 years, and then I did it. And then it's not like I can like rest on that. It's like, who is next? And I'm talking the next day. Like I can't shut it off, this drive.
Yeah. So is that drive, when you think about that drive, is that a good thing or is it a detrimental thing? Because
detrimental.
100% detrimental for you, right? Like, so for me,
that's what I'm saying.
Detrimental because it's always one step higher. Yes. So you're not actually chasing clout.
I guess I don't know what it is. Like, I guess right now I'm like, I want my show. If I'm a podcaster, I want the number one wellness podcast in America. Like it can't, or
Amazing.
it doesn't count. Yeah, it's just not
Okay.
like,
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody could
Okay.
even
So it
relate to
doesn't
this. I hope
count.
so.
No,
Well,
this is so good. I love this.
like I can't, like there's other people, like I have a top 1% podcast right now. Probably going to say that a couple more times because I'm very proud of that. But then
You
it's
should.
like, there's somebody that has a 0.05, Megan. Like that's who you're talking to. I can't, I'm like, oh, there are better ones. Like I'm still not charting. And people are like, only like the top 50 chart and there's like a billion. And I'm like, well, you gotta be charting for it to be value. Like that, I'm just being
Okay.
completely honest. That is how I live.
Yeah.
And you know what I think
So
really
if
quick?
I'm not, go ahead.
I think a lot of it came from my relationship and not feeling like valued and appreciated and worthy. And now I have a show and I'm showing this is going to be big because I am worthy and I created this and I have to show that this is my value. And maybe soccer didn't work out and I thought that was my value, but now this has to work out to show I am worthy, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So if we take away the soccer, we take away the homecoming queen, we take away the prom queen, we take away the podcast, and we have Erin.
I'm a mom. I'm proud of being a mom.
Out. I'm a mom. Why do people want to hang out with you? What do people love about you?
Here's the other part of this. I am very happy with who I am and confident in my body. Like I am, they want to hang out with me because I'm fun and I'm a great friend. Yeah. And I do see that, but it's like, I'm not there. That's what I feel. I know I'm worthy. I know my show is worthy. I have to show other people. I need external validation still.
Yeah. Why?
I don't know. Like, I hope you can pull that out. I had a great childhood. So I don't know where there was anything that that I'm still holding in my body somewhere. Like, could not have been raised better. 2 parents in the house, middle-class family. There's nothing there. And then I was not eating for a while. I was throwing up my food and abusing my body. I don't know where it stems from. Like, this has to be perfect so the outside world feels that I'm perfect and validates, oh my gosh, she is perfect. Like, it's ridiculous. I'm sorry to anyone else listening to this and shaking your head if you feel this way and you live this way, because it sucks. But hopefully me working through it could help you. Yeah.
So you want to play a game?
Yeah, I do.
So let's slow way down for a second, because when you think about, like, I have to prove myself, like it's one of these things where I have to, yes, I know my value, like logically I know my value, but whatever it is, like, that's underneath that, whatever it is that's like, but I need other people to see it too.
Yes.
So where do you feel that? Like, if you were to pause and just say, if nobody can see that, where in your body do you feel it?
Like in my chest.
Yeah, right here, right? So put your hand on that. Just sit with it for a second. And it's one of those things where, like, okay, I can feel this. If nobody else sees my value, what emotion is attached to it? And it's such...
I'm like disappointed.
Disappointed? Okay, what else?
Like I feel disappointed. Like if I know that I had a great show today and it is a top 1% podcast, but other people don't know, I'm disappointed that other people don't know, even though I know. Why do it needs to be validated. My love language is words of affirmation. I need people to affirm and validate. Don't buy me a gift. Don't give me a hug. Say the words.
Yes. And there's value to that, right? Like, there's value to having somebody affirm you, but you have to affirm yourself. And I wonder if there's a disconnect between, these are the things that I know rationally, but part of me is not believing it. Like, I don't believe these things. Do you believe it?
That's what's even weirder. Like, people like, somebody walks in the room, is like, oh, I would switch places with her in a second. I wouldn't want to switch with anyone. I love who I am.
That's amazing. Yeah.
Thank you. But I also feel like, I think a lot of it has to do with my relationship. And it's tricky because
tell me about that.
My ex did not sign up for this, and I don't want to, I want you to know so you can assess the situation, but also he didn't sign up to have like all of our business out there. But he was very successful, like 2% of the world make it to the level that he did, and had a great career and then retired. And I was just kind of on his arm. And then I wanted to be a stay-at-home mom and said that. and believed that, Megan. It wasn't like I was like, I'm going to say this and then I'm going to flip the switch. But I stepped into profound purpose when I wrote my first book and shared about my bulimia and my depression, and other women started saying, oh my God, me too, but I haven't told anyone, or like, thank you for saying it. And I was like, I found my superpower is vulnerability and being able to just say things and feel okay because I am comfortable in my body. So I'm like, I'm going to keep doing it. And then it was like a blue butterfly came to my door and I followed the signs and I started my foundation, and I know that I'm in alignment and this is exactly what I'm supposed to do. But I need him to say, wow, okay. Like right now he's still in, you said you're going to be a stay-at-home mom, you're going to do anything else. And now you have a career and you're doing book signings and you're speaking. And he's like, not that feeling that, like he wouldn't have been attracted to this version of me. So I need to show him, but look at how many sales I had and look at my podcast is charting, to show him it was like worth it. Like it was the right decision to step into this. And even though I know it is, like I will get signs from the universe, like ask for a sign and a butterfly will land on my doorstep. Like I know it. I totally know. Yeah. It's like, there are more stories that I could share with you, but I have the confirmation myself. I know, and I'm not going to stop doing this, but I want him to see, oh, wow. Like she is doing it. Like, and if he doesn't say it, I'm not doing it. Like if he doesn't realize that it's a like bigger thing, if I do an interview, like a TV interview, I need him to watch it. Or I need somebody to tell him like, Erin was on Good Day Atlanta this morning. Like, did somebody tell Marcus? Like, I want him to be like, wow, like I need him to validate that I'm worthy. I've somehow made him a more like opinionated, like stronger voice than my own. If that makes sense, like his opinion of me.
Yeah. So his opinion of you at this point, yes, I know I'm killing it and I have all these signs and everything's going great. But his opinion, I need that. So what about before you were with him? Whose opinion did you need then?
Ooh, I like this. So I met him at 24. So it was like right coming out of college. Like college was just a mess. Like I quit soccer. I guess the validation of everybody saying I did great. Everyone in high school knowing that I was going to play Division I college soccer. I needed them to know it. And then I quit. And then I was like, oh, like, who are you now? Like, then I had 10 to 15 years of just mess. Then I came out and I found alignment. But yeah, I would say that the people like who I needed before was like people to know that I was playing Division I soccer. I made it.
Yeah. So in college then, or before I was dating him, it was like, I need these people to know that I am killing it. Like I am an amazing soccer player. Okay. Back it up again. Go back to, so yeah, let's keep going backwards. So then like before you were prom queen or homecoming queen, who were you like, these people need to know that like,
it was soccer.
I am amazing.
It was soccer. Soccer had such a, like, for some reason, I don't know when I made that. Maybe somebody was like, Erin's a great soccer player. And I just held on to that and was like, people like me for soccer. Like I have to be, because I started varsity as a freshman. Like I came in, I had to, I would not accept anything less. I attached my value to my soccer prowess. Like, and so that's why it was such a big hit to me when I quit. And that was gone. Like I had nothing. I put everything into that. So it was like, then who are you now? Like I couldn't go work out at the athletic complex. I had to go to like the student rec center, and that killed me. Like I didn't have that athlete title anymore. And shit went downhill for a long time. I was in a relationship that was awful. I tried to validate myself through that relationship. And then honestly, like I love my husband still. And we've been together 19 years. We're separated, almost divorced, but I do love him. I was very physically attracted to him, but I have to say I'm probably attached myself or was attracted initially because he was shiny, and that validated that I was a worthy person because this person liked me. Like I'm self-aware enough to know what happened. I just don't know why I do that.
Yeah. My guess, without knowing your story and with only having like a finite amount of time, right, is that somewhere along the line, somebody put this like shiny, I mean, yes, soccer, I think we see this so often with athletes. We've seen it with Simone Biles. We've seen it with Michael Phelps. We've seen it with all these big athletes that are like, and then I wasn't.
Yeah. Now what? Now who are you?
Yeah. Yeah. And that's really, who are you without soccer?
Mm-hmm. Well, I couldn't find it.
Like if we go like OG Erin, before you were in soccer.
I mean, I did other things. I like danced. I don't know. That's very interesting. I want to like talk to my mom and be like, what happened did somebody say something? Like, when did I start being so obsessive about it?
Do you remember like the first thing that you were like, holy shit, soccer?
No.
There was no
I remember just being a psycho about it. Like I remember Roberto Baggio missed a penalty kick in the World Cup final. We all watched it together. I was 13 and he missed. And I just felt like devastated for him. My family went along with their day, as most people would. I went in the backyard and kicked penalty kicks for the rest of the day because I was like, I am not going to miss a penalty kick when my team depends on me, like obsessive about it. And for me, I think more soccer, it was more like body. Like I needed people to say I looked thin and my body, like it was body image. But I would like put it around soccer. Like I had to be thin, so we'll be fast for soccer, or like, I don't know, exercise bulimia. Like when I started eating, I started writing down what I would eat and then go work it off on like a elliptical so that I was like canceling it out. So it's like the obsession, the body validation. Like I said in my book, if I looked skinny or if I felt skinny, I needed someone to confirm that, or it didn't count. If someone didn't say, oh, wow, you look like you lost weight, it was like disappointing.
Yeah. Okay, disappointing. I think that's a good word. And then like, so anytime you don't get the validation and it goes back to disappointment, or is there more there? What else happens? Like if someone doesn't validate me, then I think what? What do you think if they don't validate you?
That's a great question, because it's not that I don't think I'm worthy. I know it. And it's not even, I know you were saying before, like knowing it intellectually and like feeling it. I feel it. I don't know. Like it's not that if they don't say it, I'm not worthy. It's like this, yes. It's like when I have a notebook
dopamine.
And I write things off. Yes, it's a dopamine hit. If I go to bed and I didn't I have OCD also. I'm sure you've already picked that up. I don't cross off all the things on my list. It's like, I didn't they didn't say
Finish that thought.
I didn't get, great. I didn't get everything done. I'm not perfect. Like I didn't get I had to move it over to the next day. It's not complete. I need things to be like, my day is not complete unless someone says, which doesn't make sense. It's like, I didn't get that last, it's like a dopamine hit. Like, okay,
but I think there's value to that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Acknowledge it or it doesn't count, even though I know. And like I said, I wouldn't trade places with any other woman. I do have that. I have that. And I did not. I would trade places with any other woman in my 20s and probably most of my 30s. But I love who I am now. I hate that he doesn't see it specifically. And I think it is more him, because I could get validation from people I don't know, like Instagram or something, like, oh my God, that was a great interview. It's like, he didn't say it. Like, why doesn't he see me? So it's like, it's like not that big of a deal, because did Marcus see it? Did anybody see if he saw me on TV? Like, it doesn't count if it's not his acknowledgement and like affirmation of what I'm doing.
I think that could be the thought that's sticking there. Like, it doesn't count if somebody else doesn't acknowledge it. Even if I know it, it still doesn't count, which means I don't get to count it. So if somebody else doesn't, like, even though I believe it and I know it, it's really like, okay, well, Marcus didn't see it. And maybe in high school, it was like, well, if I wouldn't have won homecoming queen, nothing counts. Like if I didn't kick that goal, like when you went outside in soccer and you're like, I will not be the one that screws it up because it's going to count. So even if you believe it, and having it go back to, it has to count though. And what makes it count, I mean, I'm not a therapist, so
is the affirmation.
Right. But that almost takes that, like, I really believe it, but it doesn't count. So yes, I believe it, but I can't count that one. So I have to. I hear you. Again.
I receive that. It's like, it could be better. It's like, it counts, but if he saw, like, okay, I'm going to speak this into existence. I am talking to the producers of Live with Kelly and Mark. It would be my biggest thing, because I usually do like local ones. If or when that airs and he doesn't know I was on, it might as well not have been on. So he could be like, wow, she did it. I need him to be like, because I said I was going to be a stay-at-home mom, and if I'm not doing like big things, it like wasn't the right choice. It wasn't, and not that I'm like leaving my kids in a ditch, Megan, to go do these things.
Right.
I'm a great mom,
Right.
but I think he sees like, you want to be a mom, now you're like career, like I'm not a good, like a shame almost. Like you said, I feel shame.
That's a big one too. Yeah. So here's what happens, right? And this is, I mean, when we think about how brains work, or how we get stuck in these cycles, what can happen is something's happened. So let's say that you get on live with Kelly and Mark, right? So that's just the circumstance. And you go on there and you kill it, and it's amazing. And they're like, holy shit, your life is incredible. They tell you all this. You go on, and I have a thought. Right?
Who are they? Who's
like,
saying it?
Whoever they are. Like
okay.
Kelly and Mark. Let's say they say it, right? But he doesn't. Let's say Mark doesn't. Marcus doesn't. So, and my thought is, well, that didn't count. That brings up an emotion, whether it is shame, whether it's disappointment, something like that. So whatever that emotion is, causes there to be an action that follows it, right? So I do something, which means for me, it might be that, well, I'm going to try harder, or I gotta be on
GMA. That's what I would do.
Now it has to be bigger.
Yes.
So you're always raising the stakes based on that thought, but I just wonder what you would have to think to make it count, even if nobody else saw it. Like, what would you have to think to be like?
I think it's not even nobody else saw it.
I know what I did.
It's not even nobody else saw it. It's Marcus. It has, because when you said
they
said you did a great job. Did you see my face? I was like, well, did he see it? Did someone send him the clip?
Right.
I need him to know I made the right decision. Like, you said this, now you're doing all this stuff. And just kind of looks at me like, what a disappointment you are, like as a wife. Like he would say things like, who goes to a book signing during the school week? And I'm like, then I'd be like, and then I'd be like, wait a minute, you're retired. Could you get our children? Like, he would make me feel, he's made me have shame about working because I said I wasn't going to, but I truly believe I didn't have confidence. I didn't see anything for myself. Definitely didn't see myself ever sharing about my bulimia and stuff. So no one could have seen that coming. But now I know I went through that to write the book, to get a community, to help other people, to have these conversations and make another woman feel seen and less alone, who isn't willing to say it, but is listening to this right now like, oh my God, yes. And you're not alone. And I want to keep doing this. And I get the butterfly, and it's like, keep going. But he's like, I want him to be like, wow, she really stepped into purpose, and she was right to step into that. Why do I need the validation? I guess because he's my husband. Like, he's a pretty strong voice in my life because he's you want your husband to see you. A dopamine hit. Value. Like, I feel like he thinks it's, again, that word disappointing. Like, I'm a disappointing mom and wife because I'm not making biscuits in my kitchen. And that's what he saw, like, growing up. It is. And he grew up in the South, and he's very traditional mother and father roles. And he stepped into a marriage that was going to be that, because that is what I said, and that is what I believed. And now this is not what he signed up for. And that's fair. It's not. Or you could argue he signed up for better or worse, sickness and health, signed up for everything. But I know that this is not what he would have signed. Like, me now, he would not have been attracted to that. Like, I'm too confident, and I'm too out there. Like, he wants he wants who he married, but I'm not that person anymore. And I know, and that's why I filed, to be honest. Like, so it's like, I think I'm still processing what I thought. I thought we would be together forever. It's been 19 years. This is now not working out. And I'm still trying to, like, process what happened, and maybe holding on to, like, if he just understands that, like, see, this is what I'm supposed to do, then, like, he'll be interested again, and, like, our family will come back together. This is just, like, pouring out of me. I don't even know if that's, but this
is good.
Maybe I'm trying to, like, I could easily be like, you know what? I'm not going to, I won't do speaking because the travel. He's not a big fan of that. I could be like, I'm not going to be speaking so that I could be more appealing to my husband. I'm not going to do that. So I know that I'm never going to dull this down to be what he would like it to go back to, but I want him to see that this is the new me and this is right. This was the right choice. So he'll get back on board and be like, yeah, I guess this is what she should be doing. And like, accept me as this new version of me.
Okay. So somewhere along the line, when you decided to start telling your story and like, I'm going to tell people about bulimia, I'm going to tell them about my life and who I am and what I've been dealing with.
Yeah.
And so I'm like going on speaking gigs, I'm doing book signings, I'm doing all this. And somewhere along the line, he makes it clear that he's like, I'm out. I don't want any part of this.
Yeah. Well, very interesting that you said he made it clear and said he's out. I filed. So he was kind of like,
that was what I was going to ask next, but you filed.
He was not saying that he was out, but his actions and demeanor around the house were something that I could no longer tolerate. And it was all stemming from what I was doing. So then I filed. He would have stayed and just continued. I couldn't take it anymore. Like I was dulling things down and turning things down to appease him. So I filed. And I think he's hurt about that. Like, he's like, you filed, you're the one that filed. And I'm like, I didn't feel like I had any other choice, Megan, because of how I was being treated. But I was being treated that way because I was doing these new career things. It all stemmed from the career. But I filed.
So, and I can totally get that. And I think that it kind of goes back to that question that what if nobody else knew? Like, what if nobody had to know but you? Because here's what I think that. So when you think about like, I need that external validation, what happens like if you don't get it? Like if we looked at it, like what happens if you didn't get it, what would happen?
It just keeps coming up, disappointment. I would be so disappointed. Like soccer, she failed, like her career was shit. Now she has a podcast, but it's not like, it's only like a top 5%. Like she's not really doing anything. I'd be disappointed that people think I'm still not doing it.
Yeah. And those are all the things that you're telling yourself right now, but those may or may not be true, right? That's your, like,
they're
your
not
narrative.
True. That's what's so crazy. I know what this show is, but I want to make sure people are seeing it. Do you see this? Yeah. Did you see the Katie Couric? Why do I need people to see it?
Right. And it's that thought though, that leads to the disappointment, right? Like I think that even though I rationally know it's not true, I'm like, okay, so at any point, because we know it's not true and that it's just a belief right now, like this is what I believe. I wonder what it would take for you to change that belief as believe that like, I don't need anybody to tell me anything. Like if you could even like make it a game, like can you gamify it?
You can somehow make it a challenge. Like, I'll do it.
Like if it actually, like if you are driven on that next level, can you take it and be like, how far can I go? Like, what can I do and like make myself feel really good without needing anybody else to know? Because what if you did something and nobody knew, but you knew it was you?
I was like, so I interviewed Sarah Blakely. It's like my biggest show and I can't post about it. I can't let anyone know that I interviewed her. I just know that we had a great conversation. I would be like, like, I would be like, look, everyone, Spanx, and I got her. Like, it wouldn't count if they were like, yeah, you can have her on your show, but you can't promote that you had her. That would be very hard for me.
Yeah, it would be. But could you make it? So here's my thought. If somebody called me and said, hey, would you like to go and interview Michelle Obama? Just like go to the Obama's house and hang out in their living room and drink wine, but you can't tell anybody.
Yeah, I would do it.
I'm 100% going. Like that is my thing. I'm like,
but you're not disappointed at all, Megan? You have no desire to share the Michelle Obama was on the More Than Anxiety podcast. You would have something that you built and that you have pride in, and you got her. Like
I would want to share it, but if I knew that I could be like one of those things where I could tell like my mom, like you can tell your mom, you can tell your best friend, but you can't put it on the podcast, I would be like, hell yeah, I'm going. Right? Like would I want
like to make it clear that I would go.
I need it? Yeah. Like would I actually need it? No.
I think it's because soccer was my value. Soccer went to shit. So now, but I still have this other thing. and watch this. Like, now this will not go to shit. This will be the biggest thing ever. See, this was my value. And so if it's not trending or charting, it's like, oh, like there was one time my husband said something like, your little show. And I'm like, my little show? Okay, here we go. I'm like, I will show you. Like, I have a drive to prove, a proving energy that this is not a little show. And I just have pride in it because it's something that I just came up with. So you want to see it through, like, to its maximum potential. And I want it to be the biggest thing ever. But I know that there has to be a balance, that if it's not, like, that's fine too. Like, I'll see, I'm all about, like, I'll book like these big guests, like millions of followers, and they'll share it. And I'm like, oh, now where and that one never does anything. It's like, I put so much into that, and then I'll just have a conversation like you and I, and it's like, that's the one that hits for people. So why am I trying to, like, I have to book the biggest guest so that I can have this credibility that I can book anyone. And it doesn't count if it's just like, oh, how many followers did your guest today have? Like, oh, well, you're not booking like Michelle Obama yet. So we'll see. Like, and I would be driven to book Michelle Obama the following week to show, yes, I can do that. Like, prove, I don't know, proving my worth and my value. Because soccer didn't work.
So your value keeps coming from what you're doing.
Yes. Ooh.
Yeah, but what if that's not it? What if it's not about what you're doing at all? What if it's just about who you are? Like, if you were like naked in the middle of a woods, what's your value?
Not much. That's probably not a good.
That is the problem. Right there is the problem. Like,
what did I check off, Megan?
If I'm in the middle of the woods, if you're naked in the middle of the woods and you're not doing anything,
I didn't get to check anything off. It's doing. I have to look at all the things I checked.
It's a do thing. Yeah. And this is like a stripped down naked kind of moment where it's like, if I didn't podcast, if I didn't play soccer, if I didn't have my husband, if I didn't have my kids, if I didn't have that, and it was just me here, what is my value? And when you answer that question, it's going to make it real easy for other people. You're not going to give a shit what anybody thinks about you.
That's so true. Because I wouldn't have, like, I validate even for myself, like, oh my gosh, look at all the things you crossed off today. Now you can sleep. Like, if I was in the forest and there was nothing to accomplish, like tasks and I just have to sit there and not have to have like a to-do list to work through and just like be with my thoughts. Good Lord. That would be awesome.
Because you are 100% productive and you do amazing things, amazing soccer, amazing podcasts, amazing interviews, amazing relationship, amazing kids. But like,
not amazing relationship.
Well, previously amazing relationship.
I'm not going to accept that one. Yes. It's all the things that I do, not who I am.
That's where you're getting your value. But if you took that and you threw it all away, that's what you need to find. You got to find what's in the middle.
Will you help me? Like, what is your value?
Yeah.
Again, like,
my value?
You didn't do anything. I'm not going to say, what did you do today? Like, you're just like,
I'm an encourager.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I know that when I meet people that I can encourage them and that I can make them really feel good about themselves. And if I don't get anything done and somebody has a bad day and I said the right thing, that was it. Like, I really feel like I'm here to help people be like the best that they can be. And if that means that I have a conversation with somebody and it's just some dude in line at the grocery store, that's good. Yeah. And I almost get, and it's funny because the reason I know that the reason I'm going to challenge you on I need people to tell me that I'm doing well is because sometimes I like to do things and never, ever, ever tell anybody about it because I get so much satisfaction out of knowing that I did it. And so that thought of I need them to validate it is only a thought. So a lot of times what we do is we have these thoughts and we just pretend like they're coming across like on the news ticker on the bottom of the screen. Like this is a fact. And really it's not. It's just a thing it's so built into our internal dialogue and our brain likes to believe anything that we think. It's like, well, that must be true because I thought it. But most of the time it's not. It's just garbage that goes through our heads all day.
So what do you do when the thought comes through? You just...
for me, because if we go back to the whole idea of anxiety or intrusive thoughts, for me, I have to remind myself, I'm like a lot of times I'll be like, I mean, that's one thought. Because
So,
so my anxiety was all related around like health. So I spent years and years and years being afraid of every symptom in my body and think I was dying of like horrible diseases. And I had to get to the point where I'm like, that would be a really scary thing. That was one thought. And realizing that I thought it, but it wasn't true. I mean, I think stupid crap all the time, especially if you look at like health anxiety and OCD and things like that, that really do throw intrusive thoughts at you like all day long.
Yes. We didn't even get into my like anxiety. You don't even know how I am with my kids. Like all the scenarios that could possibly go down. Like I playing for, like mine started postpartum anxiety, but my daughter's 8 and I'm still on Zoloft. I was flying with her and they closed the boarding doors and I've flown like hundreds of times. And I was like, they closed the doors and I don't know what a panic attack feels like, but I feel like the only reason it wasn't a full blown panic attack is because I was the only person responsible for my infant daughter. But I was like, if it wasn't like that the plane was going to crash. It was like, if everyone starts to stand up, how am I going to get her out? And like, I was looking to like see, I mean, overwhelming, like debilitating anxiety. Also, like if I'm in a stop sign and there's like 2 rows of traffic coming from both ways and somebody's behind me, I would rather just shoot me. Like than me have to.
You're trapped.
I have to. They're like go, and I'm like, but I don't want to go. Like I'm nervous to go, but I know that I'm inconveniencing I would rather be shot than have to have everyone upset and like judging if I'm going to go or not. And like sometimes I'm like, oh no, I'm going to wait for the next car. It's debilitating, and I just get super anxious. And I don't even remember being. I mean, I'm sure I had some level of anxiety, but when I became a mom. I mean, that's probably another part of my relationship. Like it was like times 50 that I would just get so like, all the time. And like living in that state and yes, like OCD. And so maybe having the list and saying the things that I did calms my anxiety. Like it's going to be fine. Look what you crossed off everything. And if there's nothing to cross off, I'm just like, like buzzing.
That's 100% what's happening. Yeah. Okay. And it's really that because OCD and anxiety are so crisscrossy a lot of the times. I mean, they have so many, and ADHD, they all crisscross so much, but it's that feeling inside your body when you're like, oh God, I can feel it right here. That is so intolerable.
Yes.
That I have to fix it. And your way of fixing it is to have people tell you, you did a good job, because when they do, the feeling goes away.
Yeah.
Or if I don't cross things off, the feeling goes away. But as soon as you learn how to say, oh, that feeling is making me think those things. So what happens is your body feels this feeling and then your brain just starts concocting stories about why. And for your story right now is because they didn't tell me I did a good job, which means I have to do more. But if you can learn to sit with that feeling and be like, I hate this feeling, it sucks, and I don't have to do anything about it because I know how to calm it down, your brain will shut up.
That's what I need. When you say it and you're saying verbatim what I say, it sounds so ridiculous. Like, and you're not good if they don't say anything. And I'm listening to this, like, why are you doing that? Like, I don't want to be this way, but I'm being completely honest that I am this way. And
oh no, I believe you.
Shut it off. No, I mean, but like, you're like, and you're doing all these things. When I'm hearing it back, I'm like, just stop doing that. Like, it's so ridiculous, but I just have to sit with it and be like, nope. Like,
right. I mean, this is kind of where we go into this idea of grounding techniques, or, what are you going to do with that feeling? Like when you feel that feeling,
I need a tool.
Use it. Yeah. If you can use that really horrible, awful feeling inside your body to remind you that you're not allowed to believe anything that you think, because this is where it gets into that idea of, I mean, rationally, I know it's stupid. When you feel that, your rational brain isn't working. Because it's like biologically, like old caveman stuff, that part of your brain, that frontal lobe, completely shuts off. And so it's just based on survival. And for you, your survival it means I'm not good enough and that people can't see me unless somebody else tells me. So when you feel that, anything that you think is utter bullshit. And it's like, nope, I cannot believe that until this calms down. And then it'll be like, you know what? I don't really need anybody to tell me, because I know that it was amazing that I'm in the top 5% of podcasts. Rational brain comes back online when we can take this and be like, and bring it down. But it's just become such a habit and it feels so important.
First, I would like to say top 1%, because that is how I get validation. I'm half kidding and half psycho lady. I need like a behavior to like, it's like when you say it, I can't, it's not enough. I need you to be like, I need to pick up there needs to be a behavior that I do when I catch myself. Like, how do you, I feel like me just being like, I just know myself. Like I can't shut my mind off. So if there's any kind of technique where it's like, nope, I'm going to go for a walk. I don't know. Do you have anything like that? It's like,
yeah. So I had a coach, first of all, I had a coach for a long time, and her thing that she said to me that I use all the time is brains are going to brain. Like brain's going to brain. It's going to think it's going to make up stuff that you don't, you're like, why? Like, it's just going to do it. So it's really more about the feeling than it is about the thoughts. The thoughts are all symptoms of whatever else is going on. And somewhere along the line, something got stuck in your nervous system and it fires up and it makes you think the same thought. I don't know what it was, and I don't have any idea how to figure it out. But for me, and it's always goes back to the cheesy breath thing, but I am a huge on exhaling, because people that get really anxious and up in our heads, we tend to breathe really shallow and talk and like go faster, faster, faster. So if we can exhale and like imagine squishing yourself as flat as a pancake with the exhale, like exhale and a little more and a little more and a little more until you feel like, okay, now I'm really empty. And then slowly
I never go that
inhale.
Far. Okay.
And, so some people are kind of afraid of it, like if they're really sensitive to breathing stuff. But if you're not, just exhale really, really far. And then when you need to breathe in really deep, hold it for a few seconds, and then push it all the way out again. And then just sit there and really, if you can put your hand on that spot again and just be like, okay, I'm just going to breathe and imagine breathing into that spot. It takes practice because your body has a real strong habit right now of going there.
But what a tangible tip to give me, like that you gave me a practice that I can do it. Like now I have something in my tool belt to do. Like instead of
I've done it at Target before. Like if I feel anxious at Target, I can exhale at Target. Nobody's going to know. You can do it anywhere. Nobody's ever going to know. It's just breathing. You don't have to be dramatic unless you want to be. I mean, you can.
It's intentional breathing. Like anything that it's like, just meditate. Like you don't live in my mind. Like there's no meditating. No. I just have obsession of the mind is right there. Like this, it never turns off. Like I thought it was ADHD. It's like, we've kind of figured out that it's like a compulsive need to be moving and tidying up. And I just never sit and breathe. I don't know, like I'm doing the work. I'm in therapy for it. I'm on, maybe I need to up my dose of Zoloft to kind of like bring me back down. Cause I'm always just highly efficient. And if I'm not being efficient, that judgmental, like this is how bad it is. If I'm going to go for a walk after this, but I can only go for a walk if the dryer and washer are going, so that something is happening here efficiently. Because if I'm just walking and nothing else is getting done, it's like, why wouldn't I, like, things have to always be going for me to be settled. And if
you can cross them off your list.
Yes. But it's like, I would not enjoy my walk or be able to like shut off my mind if I didn't know that things were also happening here. Like the high I get when it's like, there's something in the dishwasher, the washer and the dryer, they're all going. I just did my Instacart order. So someone is shopping for my groceries. Like, you can't tell me nothing today. Like that is look at all the things I have done, and my kids come home and the house is done. But if one of those things is not happening and it's still looming, I'm unsettled.
Yeah. Like there's so many things that I'm like, I have so many things that we could talk about, but I think really
maybe you have to come on my show, Megan.
Yes, I would love to.
You need to come and we'll like listen to this, and then part 2, you come on my show and we keep going. Because there's a lot left to uncover. And you're helping me very much. I appreciate being here.
Yeah. But I think really, though, even if you think about, if you said I'm always moving, you can always be moving and still breathe on purpose. I mean, even if I'm standing at my counter and I'm just kind of like swaying back and forth and I'm still practicing, like I'm going to exhale, like it can help to stand up and do it. Like you don't have to sit there and like monk out or anything. I mean,
but I never think about breathing. And it's like, I would like take exercise classes and they're like, remember to breathe. And like, when they would say it, I'd be like, oh, I wasn't breathing. And like, I needed someone to tell me to breathe. Like, that's how like, I'm just anxious. I'm just in a high stress state all the time. It's really making me look at what my husband was dealing with this. I'm like, oh, you don't validate
And the
my
breathing
career.
thing
And
is
he's
so,
like,
yeah.
sorry, you're a million miles an hour. Like, I know that I'm not a piece of cake to be around when I'm this way, but yeah, like just taking that moment to like be intentional about breathing and thinking about your breath. And yes, I don't do that ever.
Yeah. Slowing down on purpose, even when it's going to feel like anxiety wants to make you go faster. Slowing down on purpose is so, so, so important. And breathing makes you slow down because, I mean, you have to breathe, especially though, I think as a soccer player, because you probably have really good cardiovascular fitness. And I was a swimmer and we were just told not to breathe.
You
don't breathe into the wall. So, I mean, it was easy for me to hold my breath. I used to be able to hold my breath for a really, really, really long time. And I was anxious. So it just all worked out. I just didn't breathe.
Yeah. It's perfect for your lifestyle.
It was great. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I think really focusing on that and remembering that if you were naked in the woods, what is your value if you didn't cross anything off your list for the day? That is a question that you could probably journal on for hours.
That was the question. Like, I wrote down doing things. I'm all about doing things and naked in the woods.
Yeah. I'm going to go in the woods and do some things naked.
I'm going to expand upon those two things. That is a journaling right there. Then it's like, there's no time to journal. What are you journaling? Like, look at all the things you need to accomplish in your journaling. That's where my mind goes. Like, waste of time.
I journal every day, and every day I'm like, hurry up and break faster.
There's so many other things to be crossing off while you're journaling.
Yes.
And it's
but it really does.
Yourself.
Yeah. But it really does make me, because I am very much that same personality, firstborn daughter type. That's like, let's get shit done.
Yes.
But that is getting things done.
I know.
And it's productive slowness.
Thank you. Oh, I like productive slowness. That's also getting written down. Thank you.
This was fun.
This was
my gosh.
Welcome to what my show is. It's just working through the things and being vulnerable with someone else who will go there with you. Because it's like, I just always picture, I didn't get help for my eating disorders and stuff because I always just pictured like a man being like, oh, you tell me about your body image. And I'm like, I don't want to talk to you. Like, you don't get it. You're not sharing about your body image. But when you have two people really going there, it's like whoever is listening, hopefully is breathing a little better and like realizing you're so not alone. Just not everyone says all of this out loud.
I think we're all thinking a lot of the same things a lot of times. And we're finally just starting to break it open a little bit because I see things. I still will talk to people and they'll tell me things that they were scared of. And I'm like, I thought I was the only person in the whole world that ever thought that.
Totally.
Yeah, I know we're all the same.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I get you.
Exactly. I don't even know where I saw you that I was like, oh, come on, you can anxiety me. Like we were supposed to like-minded women that like share and help other women will find each other and just keep having these conversations. So another woman that maybe isn't at the point where she wants to say it out loud can get the answers without having to say it out loud, just listening to a conversation.
Yeah, absolutely. And we need to. Yeah. We're making the world better every single day.
Girl power.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Thank you for spending your time with me this morning.
Thank you so much for having me.
It was awesome. I loved it.
I hope you enjoyed this episode of the More Than Anxiety podcast. Before you go, be sure to subscribe and leave a review so others can easily find this resource as well. And of course, if you're ready to feel calm, to stop overthinking, and have a lot more fun, you can go to the show notes, click the link, and talk to me about coaching. I'll talk to you soon.